Hey everybody, welcome back to Sip and Talk. I'm Joe. And as always, I'm ready to dive into some seriously juicy info with you all today. It's like we're mixing up a knowledge cocktail here. Strong stuff, but oh, so smooth going down.
And I'm Sunny, your friendly neighborhood fact checker. I'll make sure we get all the ingredients right. Speaking of mixing things up, you know it's always a good blend? Travel whiskey and discovering awesome new things. You have to check out our friend Mickey's YouTube channel, Mickey to Life.
Yeah, Mickey's the best. He's always got something cool going on. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time zone you're in. Welcome back to Sip and Talk. I hope all of our Sip and Talkers are doing amazing today. I actually have a little confession to make.
Oh, boy. I feel like I need to brace myself for this one.
No, it's a good thing. So I've actually started practicing Qigong in my living room. Like I'm standing there every morning doing the deep breathing and really just trying to feel the universe's energy field, flowing right through me.
Wait a second, hold on. I mean, last week we were literally obsessing over the architecture of our latest quantum chips coming out of Silicon Valley. And this week you're suddenly trying to shoot energy beams out of your hands.
Hey, it's not energy beams. My practice is highly functional, okay? But I will admit, when I started reading through the wellness blogs for today's discussion, I got pretty suspicious.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Because if you follow the wellness space at all, you've definitely seen this massive internet trend around earthing, or grounding, some people call it.
Right, the whole rubber shoe conspiracy.
Exactly. The theory goes that we, as modern humans, wear these rubber-soled shoes, we walk on asphalt, and we are completely disconnected from the Earth's natural electric field.
Which is apparently ruining our lives, right?
Totally. So the fix that's being sold to you is that you just need to walk barefoot on the soil, balance your electrical charge, and let the Earth absorb all your, cellular inflammation, because we're electrical beings, right? So it sounds super logical.
Well, okay, let's break this into two parts. Because fact number one is, yes, human bodies do have electricity. I mean, that is a standard physiological fact. That's how your EKGs and EEGs actually work.
Right.
But fact number two, this idea of discharging cellular inflammation into the grass, that is basically taking a real physical phenomenon and stretching it into absolute pseudoscience.
Which is why we're doing this. Today on Sip and Talk, our mission is to tear into a stack of recent biophysics papers, some really fascinating historical text, and figure out what is actually happening to your body's electrical grid.
Yeah, we really need to separate the rigorous bioelectric science from the wishful thinking.
So let's start with the physical grounding aspect, because when your bare skin touches the damp earth, there actually is a physics exchange happening, right? But it's really just about the triboelectric effect.
Exactly. It's completely surface level static electricity.
Just static.
Just static. I mean, throughout the day, as you go about your life, you are constantly experiencing friction. Your polyester clothes rub together, your shoes walk across our modern synthetic carpets, and your body essentially acts like a giant capacitor.
Oh, so you're just hoarding electrons.
Pretty much. You build up an excess of electrons on the surface of your skin. That is the triboelectric effect in action. So when you take off your shoes and step onto wet soil or damp grass, you're creating a conductive, low-impedance pathway.
Right.
Your body is just redistributing those built-up surface charges to match the Earth's electrical potential.
So if I do this, I'm not actually curing my cellular inflammation. I'm basically just stopping myself from getting statically shocked by a metal doorknob.
That is 100% what you're doing.
Wow. Okay, because reading through the biophysics papers, it's incredibly clear that mitigating a static electrical potential in your skin has absolutely nothing to do with, reversing free radicals inside your cells.
Not even a little bit.
Those are chemical processes happening across lipid membranes.
Yeah.
You can't just siphon off a free radical into the dirt like you're a lightning rod.
You really can't. And where this gets actively misleading, like where it actually becomes a scam, is when you see influencers trying to adapt this for indoor apartment living.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You'll see them telling you to touch the painted drywall of your high-rise to ground your energy.
Which is so funny. I looked into our infrastructure codes because that made no sense to me.
Whoa.
If you live in an apartment building in the U.S., touching a painted wall does absolutely nothing. The impedance is way too high. It's an insulator.
Exactly. Or they tell you to touch a metal water faucet to ground yourself.
Right. But even that is a gamble now. Our newer construction codes heavily utilize cross-linked polyethylene, like PEX and PVC, for piping.
Which is a crucial point. If your building's plumbing uses plastic anywhere in the line,
it's game over for the current.
right, you have completely broken the electrical pathway to the Earth. Plastic is a dielectric. It ruins the continuity. So you aren't grounding anything. You're just awkwardly standing in your kitchen, holding onto a piece of isolated metal.
Just gripping the faucet for dear life, hoping for enlightenment.
Exactly.
Okay, so if environmental static discharge is just a surface-level physics trick, what is the actual electrical grid inside your body doing? Because I was reading up on resting membrane potentials, and honestly, the reality is far more impressive than, like, absorbing magic from the grass.
Oh, it is arguably one of the most elegant systems in biology. The electricity inside you isn't some static charge you pick up from your environment. It's a highly regulated active system of chemical ions.
We're talking about sodium, potassium, calcium, chloride, right?
Spot on. Your cellular membranes are embedded with these incredibly complex proteins called ion channels and pumps.
Like the sodium-potassium pump. The papers we reviewed were detailing how these pumps physically force 3 sodium ions out of the cell for every 2 potassium ions they bring in.
Right, and because they are constantly moving unbalanced charges, it creates a literal voltage across the membrane.
Which blew my mind.
It creates a resting membrane potential of about negative 70 millivolts. And maintaining that tiny electrical charge is so critical to your survival that your body spends a massive chunk of its daily caloric intake just fueling the ATP required to run those microscopic pumps.
Wait, so I am electric. Does that mean I'm basically a biological electronic device?
Well, yes, but you run on microvolts. You aren't an iPhone that needs to be plugged into the grass to recharge.
Oh, man.
You are an internally closed loop, which means your nervous system doesn't need the Earth's grid to function. When you move your arm or your heart beats, that's an action potential. It's a cascading wave of those voltage-gated channels opening up, letting the ions rush back across the membrane.
So our cells maintain their own balance entirely on their own.
Exactly. The environment outside your skin has virtually zero impact on the ionic gradients inside your cardiac tissue.
Okay, I have to push back on one thing, though.
Let's hear it.
If our bodies are generating real, measurable electrical signals, what do we make of the energy we supposedly project outward? Because in the stack of historical texts we looked at, there's a huge section on aura photography.
Oh, here we go.
No, listen. We've all seen those viral photos from spiritual retreats, right?
Yeah.
Someone puts their hands on metal plates, and it prints out a Polaroid of them surrounded by this glowing purple or red cloud.
Yeah, I've seen them.
I read up on Simeon Kirlian, who invented this back in 1939, and looking at the images, it undeniably looks like energy radiating out from the body.
Well, it looks like energy because it actually is energy.
See.
But Kirlian photography is one of the most brilliant examples of a measurable physics phenomenon being completely hijacked by mysticism. What the camera is capturing is not your soul, and it is definitely not your spiritual aura.
Then what is it?
It is a well-documented physical reaction called a corona discharge.
Okay, I dug into the physics of this because the visual is just so compelling. The machine applies a high voltage, high frequency alternating current to the metal plate, right? And when you press your hand against it, that high voltage literally strips electrons from the gas molecules in the air around your skin.
Which is wild when you think about it.
It is. It causes a Townsend avalanche, ionizing the air and creating a conductive plasma channel.
Exactly. It's essentially a miniature, highly controlled lightning storm hugging the contours of your fingers. The film is just capturing the light emitted by that glowing plasma.
But the wellness blogs claim the color of the plasma dictates your mood. They say, like, a blue aura means you're vibrating at a calm frequency, and a red aura means you're super stressed or passionate.
Yeah, and that's where they lose the science, because the biophysics papers point out that the color in a corona discharge is dictated by the gas being ionized.
Right, and our atmosphere is mostly nitrogen.
Exactly, which naturally emits a blue and violet light when ionized.
Okay, but then why does it change size or get slightly red sometimes?
That simply comes down to your skin's galvanic resistance. Specifically, how much you are sweating.
Sweat.
Just sweat. Moisture and the salt content on your skin change the electrical impedance dramatically. That alters how the electricity flows off your fingers and how the air ionizes.
Wait. So if I take a photo and my aura is a beautiful, calm blue, and the next day it's a fiery purple, it doesn't mean I reached a higher spiritual plane.
Yep.
It just means I got sweatier.
Exactly. Congratulations, your humidity increased, not your spirituality.
That is so disappointing.
And if you really want to break the illusion, you can perform Kirlian photography on inanimate objects. If you place a damp coin on that high-voltage plate, the coin will produce a beautiful, glowing, colorful aura.
Which is hilarious. If this machine measures the soul, what is a quarter's past life? Was it a penny?
Exactly. It's just physics. The light is real, the ionization is real, but assigning emotional states to it is just taking objective data and running it through a highly subjective filter.
All right, fine. I can accept that auras are just sweaty plasma physics. But what about magnetic fields? Doesn't the heart actually project a magnetic field into the universe?
It absolutely does, and this is where the science is genuinely breathtaking.
Yes, validation.
Because anytime you have an electrical current, like the wave of ions flowing to make your heart muscle contract, that current automatically generates a corresponding magnetic field.
Right, and we have medical tech to measure this, right?
We do. For the brain, we use a magnetoencephalogram, or MEG, and for the heart, it's a magnetocardiogram, or MCG.
See? My heart has a magnetic field. That proves why my ex and I didn't work out. We were just magnetically incompatible.
Right, my friend, he didn't block you because of electromagnetic interference. He blocked you on Instagram.
Okay, harsh, but fair.
But this brings us to the core concept, the main fallacy of this entire topic. Science gives us step one, which is that the heart has a measurable magnetic field. But then spiritual marketing takes step one and immediately jumps to step 47. They say, therefore, you can attract wealth with your mind or heal someone across the room.
Where did the other 46 steps go?
Exactly. They completely ignore the inverse square law of electromagnetism. A magnetic field drops off exponentially with distance. By the time you are a few inches away from the chest, that field is practically indistinguishable from the background noise of the room.
Right, because I saw the output levels in the papers. The heart's field is measured at the range of 10 to the -6 Gauss. We're talking about microteslas.
It's incredibly faint. To even detect it, hospitals have to use SCBIs, these super cool devices operating inside heavily shielded rooms, just to block out the Earth's ambient magnetic field, which is millions of times stronger.
So it's like saying my car engine produces heat, therefore my car has emotional warmth and empathy.
Precisely. You're observing a real physical byproduct and assigning a completely unrelated mystical meaning to it.
But wait, if modern spiritual tech is just a massive leap in logic, what about ancient practices? Like my Qigong or meridians. They've been around for centuries, so they must be onto something real, right?
Oh, they definitely are. If we look at the clinical data, Qigong absolutely has documented health benefits. Studies show it lowers blood pressure and reduces cortisol. But we have to isolate the mechanism.
Right, because it's not a mystical laser beam of Qi energy.
Right. It comes from a combination of slow movement, deep diaphragmatic breathing, and autonomic nervous system regulation.
I read the neurological papers on this, and that deep breathing engages the vagus nerve, which physically shifts your body out of sympathetic fight-or-flight mode and into parasympathetic rest and digest mode.
Exactly. It's a measurable physiological shift. And the meridian lines in acupuncture are similar.
Right, because obviously we never found glowing energy pipes inside the human body during surgery.
Right. But recent connective tissue studies show incredible correlations between those traditional meridian maps and the body's physical fascial planes.
The fascia network.
Yeah. It's heavily embedded with mechanoreceptors. When you apply physical pressure to that tissue, like with an acupuncture needle, you trigger mechanotransduction. You are converting mechanical force into chemical signals that reduce pain.
So ancient people observed a highly accurate, real physical phenomenon. They figured out where to press to relieve pain, but they just explained it using the ancient equivalent of Windows 95.
That is the perfect analogy. Trying to find a literal meridian pipe is like trying to explain Google Maps to someone who only believes a road is real if it's paved with physical asphalt.
They observed the function, but didn't have the modern biology to explain the mechanism.
Exactly.
Okay, so as we wrap up, you've pretty thoroughly dismantled the idea of me being a magnetically irresistible powerhouse who absorbs electrons from the grass.
Just doing my job.
But I realized something reading all this. The actual rigorous science of human electricity is moving in a direction that is way more sci-fi than any of those wellness blogs.
Oh, you're talking about bioelectronic medicine.
Yes. I want you, the listener, to really think about this. Because right now, our tech and medical scenes are developing microchips that interface directly with your nervous system.
It is the most exciting frontier in medicine. They are using tiny, precise electrical currents to treat autoimmune diseases.
Right, like rheumatoid arthritis. They implant a tiny device on the vagus nerve, and it sends a signal to the spleen to stop producing inflammatory proteins.
They are literally hacking the body's electrical grid.
And it gets crazier. The papers on endogenous electric fields show that when you get a cut, your tissue generates a natural directional electric field. And that field acts as a beacon, guiding stem cells to migrate directly to the wound to heal it.
Galvanotaxis. It's incredible, and now engineers are amplifying that specific beacon to heal chronic wounds that won't close on their own.
So the future of medicine is electric. It's just highly precise and scientific rather than mystical.
Absolutely. The reality of biology is always more fascinating than the simplified fiction.
Which brings me to the thought I want to leave you with today. If we already possess an internal network so sophisticated that it can guide stem cells and shut down autoimmune diseases, why do we feel the need to invent mystical energies to make our bodies feel magical?
Well said.
The objective truth. You know, the way your cellular pumps balance ions, the way your fascia communicates stress. It's profoundly beautiful, all on its own. We don't need the pseudoscience to appreciate it.
Exactly, and it's why we have to demand actual clinical data from the people selling us these $500 grounding mats.
100%. We're not attacking anyone's beliefs here. We're just celebrating critical thinking and actual biology. Oh, and a quick cheeky reminder to you all. Even though we talked about our tech sector and medical innovations, absolutely none of this is financial or investment advice.
Please do your own independent research before buying stock in microchip companies.
Always. We want you to keep questioning, keep thinking independently, and importantly, make sure you subscribe to the Sip and Talk podcast.
Wait, I thought we weren't calling it a podcast episode anymore.
You know what I mean. Just subscribe to Sip and Talk so you never miss a deep dive. And before we go, a massive shout out to our good buddy Mickey.
Oh, yeah.
You all have to check out Mickey's YouTube channel, Mickey to Life. He just dropped some of his newest travel vlogs, and they are amazing.
Highly recommended. Go give him some love.
Thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. I am going to go back to my living room, but this time, when I do my deep breathing, I'm going to be visualizing my ATP pumps.
Now that is an energy field worth focusing on.
See you next time.